Hello and welcome to CCC Live, the Counselor Community Connection. I'm Marilyn Harriman, Counselor Coordinator, retired from Oakland Unified School District. And March 2nd is the deadline for seniors to turn in the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. You know, tonight is all about cash for college, and filing online is the best way. You're going to learn how tonight. I know if you're a parent or a senior, there's definitely a sense of urgency. So if you're interested in the process, stay with us tonight because this information can really help you plan. Make sure you have your questions ready or your comments, and you'll be able to call in tonight because we are live right now at 415-5907. And we also have some of our scholarship providers here tonight and our counselor, Carlos Padilla. So let's start right now and meet our guests. Regina, let's start with you.
Good evening. My name is Regina Jackson. I'm President and CEO of the East Oakland Youth Development Center, and I am a graduating senior, so I'm also a parent. Glad to be here.
All right.
My name is Cassandra Martinez. I'm a senior, and I go to Skyline High School.
My name is Joanna Santillan. I go to Coliseum College Prep Academy, and I'm a senior.
Hello, my name is Lisa Esquena, and I'm the Activities Coordinator for the East Bay Consortium.
Hi, my name is Mariah Gardner, and I go to Skyline High School. I'm a senior.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Gonzalez, and I'm a Program Coordinator with the East Bay Consortium as well as Regional Coordinator for Cash for College.
Hi, I'm Leo Lamana. I'm with Marcus Foster Education Fund, and it's good to be back.
Carlos Padilla, Counselor, Oakland High School.
Good evening. My name is Quincy Jones. I'm with Destination College Advising Corps and the East Bay College Fund, and I'm the full-time college advisor at Oakland High School.
All right, and we have a couple. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
yes,
right.
Julian.
I'm Julian Clark, and I'm a senior at Oakland Tech.
This is great, and we are expecting a couple more people who may join us later, we hope, and we hope that you're watching with us tonight, and we'll call in. But let's start right now. Cynthia, you are representing the consortium tonight, and just calm with all the work that you have been doing. But first, I'd like you to tell us about the statewide initiative for Cash for College.
Okay, so as regional coordinators, there's a statewide program called Cash for College, which happens all across the state of California. Here in the East Bay, we currently have 55 workshops taking place all over Alameda County and West Contra Costa. And we help students submit their FAFSAs. We bring scholarship information, presentations about financial aid. And we still have a few workshops taking place through the month of February. So go to calgrants.org and you could type in your zip code and you'll see which workshop is nearby.
Well, okay, so I know you're wearing a lot of hats and you're coordinating the whole Cash for College workshops in our area, the I-80 corridor, I guess we might call it, from Richmond to San Leandro?
To Fremont.
To Fremont, okay. So tell us about that and what you're doing.
So as a coordinator, I work with the college counselors at the high schools or community organizations in the area to set up these workshops, and we encourage high school seniors to attend. Most of our workshops are hands-on, so we encourage you to bring your taxes, your W-2s, any financial information that you have so that we could actually submit your FAFSA the night of the workshop. And that's our goal, is we want to help you submit it, and hopefully with little errors so that you could maximize your potential for financial aid.
So how many workshops are you doing?
We have 55 in the East Bay.
Now I know tonight, I think there's one going on at Castlemont.
We have one at Castlemont tonight, and we will be at Richmond and De Anza next week. We have East Oakland Youth Development Center on February 11th. So like I said, the best way to get information is go to calgrants.org. Look for Cash for College, put in your zip code, and you'll see which ones are in your area.
I mean, I wonder if you just put in Cash for College, if you might, by chance.
You could Google Cash for College. You could actually type californiacashforcollege.org, and that'll take you directly to the website. So there's a lot of avenues. They have a Facebook page, Cash for College, in California. So there's a lot of ways to,
okay,
to
so
get
it's
it.
Cash for College we're talking about tonight. Now, I visited that workshop at Fremont High School, the very first one that you did. And we did a little clip there. Let's roll that clip now. Let's see what really goes on.
In Oakland. This is our first of 53, 54 workshops that we're doing throughout the region to help seniors fill out the FAFSA. And tonight we're very fortunate to have a very special guest, and she is the Vice President of the College Access Foundation of California, who is here to observe our first Cash for College workshop in Oakland. So I'd like to introduce to you Jackie Kaur.
Thank you, Monica. Good evening. I'm pleased to be here and proud to be here in the first, I understand, Cash for College workshop for 2012 here in Oakland. We are proud partners together with the East Bay Consortium in providing scholarships, need-based scholarships to students here in the Oakland Unified School District. And Cash for College and FAFSA completion is an important first step towards our scholarships and, more importantly, towards accessing the Pell and Cal grants and other scholarships that are available to eligible students.
Okay, hi, my name is Rosa Rico. I work with East Bay Consortium as a college advisor at Skyline High School, but tonight we're here at Fremont High, and I'm working at the scholarship section, giving students information about different scholarships that are coming up, depending on their GPA. So a lot of scholarships, they vary, so they have different GPA, different requirements, so they're asking, oh, which ones can I apply to? And I've been giving them that information based on the information that they're giving me.
Okay, and do you have is there a lot of money available this year?
There is. Students just need to apply. We have over 25 scholarships on the table, and that's not even counting them all. And a lot of them are local scholarships.
And then we can go ahead and change that later on. Plus, your Cal Grant and your FAFSA needs to be processed anyway, so you're going to be good.
My name is Rashawn Grant, and I go to college prep in Architecture Academy at Fremont High School.
Okay, so what brought you here tonight?
Just to do my FASFA and probably get a little scholarships.
How's the process working for you?
It's going well.
Okay, so are you any surprises?
No, not really. I didn't know what to expect in the beginning, but it's okay. What I'm doing now is the survey for the raffle to get the $1,000 scholarship.
Oh, I heard a lot of them won that last year.
Yeah. No.
Okay, good luck on that.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Ricardo, and I go to college preparatory and architecture academy. Oh, I want to be an animator, or and also a voiceover work for cartoons or something like that, and a video game designer or a producer. It looks super interesting.
Nancy Romana, I'm a program coordinator with the East Bay Consortium, CalSOAP, and we help run these Cash for Colleges here all over Oakland and the East Bay. And just something different about the Cash for Colleges up to now is that most folks want to go ahead and start working on the FAFSA in order to make sure that we're supporting families and actually getting on the FAFSA and completing it. Instead of doing large-scale presentations, what we do now is actually go straight onto the FAFSA as soon as families get here in the afternoon or in the evenings. But before we even go into the workshops, we actually do what we call pre-FAFSA, which is a series of presentations or workshops that we do at the schools in conjunction with their counselors or folks working with seniors to introduce seniors to what is financial aid, how do they get it, and what they should be expecting upcoming in January, February when they do come to Cash for College.
Wow, and are you ready? It's all about being ready, and I just love that, Cynthia. I'd like to come back to you for just a quick minute. Indeed, the workshops seem to be very different from how we used to do them. And could you just tell a little bit more about how they're different and why they're different?
We used to spend a lot of time presenting and getting a lot more information out to the parents, but a lot has shifted where we go into the classrooms and present on financial aid so that the students could come prepared. FAFSA has become much more simple than it was in the past. It's online. It has a simplified version and skip logic built into the application, so if you don't need to answer some questions, it just directly skips it. So we could get a FAFSA done within 15 to 20 minutes if people have their information with them. So that's why we focus our efforts on that.
That's just so amazing, and it's so different. So people who've done it, if you're watching it and you were there a long time ago, it's much better and easier now. We've got 3 people that have joined us, a couple of parents. Siobhan, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Siobhan, and I am a parent of...
Let's see if we get the camera on you here.
Okay. My name is Siobhan Wright, and I am a parent of a college student of first semester and a student preparing for her first year in college this August. And so last year was our first year filling out the FASFA, and so it was kind of intimidating, but I was able to get connected with the EOYDC, and this year get connected with Cynthia.
Okay.
And so making some connections has really kind of helped me calm down about the FAFSA.
All right, well,
this year.
we'll come back to that, and
Okay.
we'll bring that in, and I guess calm parents is what we need. I think we don't
Yes.
have a lot of calm parents
Yes.
sometimes. Speaking of parents, there's one right behind you. Keith, let's have you introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Keith Dodds, and I'm preparing to send a student to college in August. So I'm here to learn and gather all the information I can as a parent to assist my son, Keith, in going to college. So,
Well, haven't you had a couple of others to precede?
oh yes, I have. I've had 2 to go to college, one's still attending, and one's a graduate. So we have some experience, but the FAFSA is a little different now. So I'm trying to assist Keith in getting his program together for college.
Now, I'm going to embarrass probably myself and Keith right now, but I just can't resist by letting everybody know that he was one of my first students when I was a counselor at Lowell Junior High, and you were in 7th grade, as was your wife. So it's nice that we have wonderful relationships and marriages that are strong and come out with beautiful children who are doing well. And I want to just thank you for that, and I'm very proud of that connection. I'm proud to have you on the show tonight. So let's meet Keither. Now, he's not, but you've got one more yet, right?
Yes, Keith is the youngest son, and then I have a daughter who's a 15-year-old.
Oh, okay, well, let's meet the youngest son. Keither.
Hello, I'm Keither Dodds. I'm a senior at McClymonds High School, and I'm very happy to be here.
All right, well, we're excited that you're on the show. We met Keither first last November at the November show over at UC Berkeley, and we're glad to have you, and I think you were on a clip, and we're very glad to have you live with us tonight. So I want to ask our high school students, now, as you're hearing, things are a lot easier for you guys than they were previously. I mean, this is pretty recent. But what is it you think you've needed? Julian, tell us, what have you needed as a student?
Well, as a student, I've needed a lot of guidance and a lot of people letting me know about scholarships, because college isn't cheap. If anything, it's getting more expensive. So all the help, all the workshops and counselors coming to me and letting me know about the FAFSA or about scholarships has really helped out a lot.
Have you been able to ask questions?
Oh, I've been able to ask tons of questions. I have a great counselor at the EOIDC, and she's helped me a lot. So things are a little bit easier.
Wow, well, that's a good thing. Freddie, how about you?
Preparing for high school has been pretty challenging because of all the changes, and preparing to go to college has been very not a difficult challenge, a difficult change that I never thought I would experience. But I have done my best to prepare myself and become a good individual, and I'm currently prepared to go.
So what did you do to prepare yourself?
Prepare myself. I'm pretty much. I try to do as much as I can at school by going asking questions to teachers, counselors, and PCA. The ABC office has been a great resource for myself.
That's great news. Joanna, let's ask you.
Well, high school has been a little bit of like a challenge too, and like going through the process of college has been a little bit more challenged because of the lack of resources that we experience at school. But like we have other people that we can ask for help, like for example the Pre-Collegiate Academy I attend, and pretty much I can ask them anything.
Sorry, it's hard tonight. Cassandra.
Well, I've had a lot of help from the EBC office, and I always try to go in whenever I can, but it's actually been a little bit more difficult for me since I have a lot more extracurriculars this year. And so I have done the FAFSA. As a matter of fact, I did it last night. So yeah, I'm kind of breathing a little easier that it's done now. So yeah.
You're ready. And Mariah.
Cash for College definitely made applying for FAFSA much more easier, and I actually found the flyer at the EOYDC. And also at the EOYDC, I have a great counselor to help me with my college questions or any questions that I have regarding college, so it's been helpful.
What kind of questions have you had?
Just about scholarships and how do I apply and where can I get the information from. So my counselor at EOYDC has given me a whole lot of scholarships and scholarship information to help me pay for college.
Have you decided where you want to apply?
Yes, I applied at Alfred University in New York. I want to study psychology and minor in art therapy.
And how did you pick that school?
They have an art therapy program at Alfred University, so I Googled it, and it's a really good school for that.
All right, let's hear some of the other. What are you planning to do for college?
Well, I'm planning to get my major in psychology and hopefully double major as in dance, and hopefully become a dance teacher and open up my own dance studio and help out the community out here in the Bay Area, since dance studios are really expensive and people need, well, kids or people of all ages basically need like an emotional outlet. So like I really want to open up a dance studio around here and give back to my community. Yeah.
Joanna?
Well, for college, I'm still undecided. I'm a major. But I'm kind of like going through my mathematics because I really like math, and probably minor in psychology for children because I want to be a pediatrician, but I want to learn more about children.
Oh, we got a lot of psychologists and dancers and artists. All right, let's check with our guys in the back, right? Ready?
I'm currently undecided on my major, but I'm trying to focus more on computer engineering because it's always been an interest to me about how computer works and the science behind it.
Sounds interesting to me. Julian?
My dream would be to go to Cal to major in business management because they have a great business program there.
Oh, do you have any businesses in mind that you'd like to manage?
Anyone's successful ones, which you know, it's a tough economy. I don't want to jump in any business that's gonna crash soon.
Well, what kind of businesses charm you? What makes you even think that would be fun?
Music. I really like music, so maybe some kind of music company, Def Jam, maybe Jay-Z. You know, he could hit me up.
Well, see, we can still dream, can't we? It's a good thing I asked. You never know. I mean, hey, he might have said Google or something. I don't know. Hey, Keither, how about you?
I plan on attending Grambling and majoring in electrical engineering. And I'm still kind of tossing up with criminal justice because I plan on probably being a U.S. Marshal.
Wow. Well, you see, that's pretty important. In fact, just to tell, again, since it was with Mr. Dodge, your father, when I was also his high school counselor, I remember a time in my office, and we talked about college when he was a senior, and said, Miss Harriman, I want to go into juvenile justice. And we started to look around for schools that would be good. And the one that he landed at was Grambling. So it's very interesting to see how these things come around and how important the influence is, of course, of parents, and you see successful parents in the home, and naturally you want to continue doing some of the wonderful work that they've been doing. All right, well, this makes it even much more fun for me. Well, we do have another little clip on what to bring that was put out by the Student Aid Commission, I believe, California Student Aid Commission. So let's roll that clip now.
I
Okay, so when I first went to a Catch for College event, I didn't know what to expect. So what you should expect to take, well, some of the stuff that you should expect to take, your identifications, take your tax information. If you can take your parent with you, that is very helpful, so they can help you fill out all the forms. And once you go in, we have different workshops available. So there's different people separated in different rooms. We have, for tax information, or we have a presentation on the FASFA for English or Spanish. We also have help for undocumented students for AB 540. So we have different workshops, and we have advisors that help you with the FAFSA one-on-one. So.
And right now we're really trying to promote, getting the FAFSA application done and sent on site. And with that we have, computers out there. If, you've done it on the paper, or, we could transfer that onto a computer, create an account on spot, get your PIN number. Or if you have your PIN number already, that's very useful, because then, you could use it to submit. You need one and your parents need one. That's sort of your signature to sign the application. And that's what we're promoting. On site, you complete the application and you send it off, and you submit it, so you don't have to worry about it again. Unless you need to update some information, like I did, but.
I mean, and if you need that one-on-one, like you absolutely do not know what you're doing, or you just don't know what number to put in from the W-2 or something like that, or you don't even know what a W-2 is, we'll sit down with you. I remember sitting down with a parent last year for about 30 minutes filling out the FAFSA, and when we were done, she jumped up and screamed because she was finally done with it. And it was, because she kept raising her hand every 5 seconds, so I just pulled up a chair right next to her and just sat down and did it with her.
Well, there's always useful information. I tell you, and I appreciate that they take time to create those clips so we can use them and know what to bring to these workshops. But I know, so we're lucky to have some parents here, and I know that there's always some worries and what have you. Regina, tell us about maybe your experience as a parent, as a student, and all the things you do and all the students that you help parent. What are some of your biggest worries?
Okay, thank you for asking. As it relates to being a parent, so many of us really don't get our taxes together. We've got our brown paper bags and we just don't get it together in time. You have to get your taxes filed, and you've got to get them done in advance of March 2nd so that your FAFSA can be complete. And I think that that's one of the things. Financial education for our parents is just really, really important. We don't want to be the reasons that our kids can't get the kind of support they need in college. College is ridiculously expensive, and we have to support them every way we can.
Well, have you experienced that some of the kids that you've been working with have not been able to get their financial aid or even some scholarships because the parents didn't have the taxes ready?
Absolutely. Other legal documents, if they have a parent that died, they've got to be able to prove that. When it comes to official documents, a lot of our populations just don't understand the importance. You got to put them in a special place, keep them in a special folder. And if you need help getting your taxes filed, there are any number of people who can help. You can come to the center and do your TurboTax. I mean, there are people out there doing accounting specially for the FASFA. So just look for your resources and ask for help.
And they can put in, I think they can put in a placeholder. Isn't that right, Cynthia? You can just do a quick estimate or from last year or whatever. But for some parents who might not ever have filed, that's a problem, isn't it? I'm just thinking about that as you're saying that.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. Keith, how about you? What are some of your biggest fears and worries as a parent?
Thank you. Mine definitely would be financing a college education. My two older sons weren't able to get grants because they started off going to school out of state, and so we didn't get the opportunity to take advantage of some of the grants that were offered. So that's why I encourage them to file for as many scholarships as they can. The finance would be the biggest thing. I mean, no matter where they went, college is very expensive. So that would be my major concern.
So you've been working, but you've been dealing with that, haven't you?
Oh yes,
Handling it.
my wife and I have been.
Okay. Siobhan, how about you?
Well, with 4 daughters, my biggest concern is, being able to finance college. And, because I'm not a college graduate myself, I didn't understand the process. I didn't understand the FAFSA. I didn't understand scholarships process. And, I was pretty naive because I thought you apply for a scholarship and you get it. I didn't realize there were so many requirements. So my biggest concern is just not knowing what to do and how to do it. And just by trial and error, I've figured out what to do for my next daughter. But there's so many scholarships out there. It was a little intimidating trying to figure out which ones to apply for. And then the other thing that was a little worrisome for me was because of our income bracket, we didn't qualify for certain things. And so it was like finding a needle in a haystack trying to figure out which scholarships to apply for, and then making sure that I didn't miss the deadlines. I was really fearful of that because I didn't really know what I was doing. And so making sure that I, tracked on the deadlines and did the FAFSA when I was supposed to. And so my biggest concern was just making sure that I did what I needed to do as a parent.
Okay. Well, I apologize for this allergy I seem to be having tonight. One of the things, I do remember one parent that whose family did not qualify for aid. They knew they had to fill out the FAFSA anyway, because that's sometimes the way that you can find out whether you're qualified for certain scholarships or not. They'll say, well, gee, okay, you didn't qualify for that, so now we can help support you with this scholarship. That was one thing. But I know one thing she did. She had her part-time job, a thing that she did. I think she was a potter. And she decided, she told her son, you just do the best you can in school, get the best grades you can, and my job is going to be to help search out some of these scholarships and some of the other opportunities. And I found it was very fascinating. And she really did. She really delved into it and was able to come up with almost enough to support him through that first year. So Regina.
I just wanted to add that the greatest gift that we can give to our kids is that gift of education. And nowadays, high school is just not enough. Arguably, even getting a bachelor's is not enough. But that's a good first step. So parents, we've got to sacrifice, we've got to dig deep. If we got to get that second job, we've got to prepare our kids so that they can budget while they're at college, so they're not frivolously spending their money and they're being responsible. Financial management workshops at libraries, at community centers, wherever you can find them will be helpful for you and your child.
Hoping that we're going to be able to have a little time at the end of the show to talk about managing your money. Sometimes we do. We used to do this in a 2-hour show, and we'd have a whole segment on how to manage your money in high school. Now we do have another video. I don't know if it's time to go through that. Cynthia, would you like to make some comments right now about the FAFSA?
I think I get that question often from students, or the assumption of my parents make too much, so should I file the FAFSA? And more than half the times I ask the students, do you have an estimate of how much your parents make? And they give me a number that's really not that much that would qualify them for financial aid. So if you're afraid that that's why you wouldn't qualify, just do your FAFSA. It's free. It takes, like I said, about 20 minutes, and then you'll find out from financial aid if you qualified for something or not. But I wouldn't let that be what holds you back. And then I think we're going to spend some time on students that cannot fill out a FAFSA later.
We're going to do that. But you know what? It just occurred to me, I wondered, what if somebody's parents are doing some things that they wish they weren't, and maybe they're afraid that they're going to be exposed if their child files for a FAFSA? Is that a worry?
That's definitely a concern, and so we do encourage parents to follow tax law, because very often there is a verification process, and so if your child is selected for verification, then you do have to turn in copies of your taxes, or actually now you'll actually need to call IRS and get an IRS transcript. So the financial aid are not tax experts, and they're not looking at all those tax laws, but mainly the most important thing is that you have to file. And if you've earned more than those requirements, then you are required to file taxes. That's something that financial aid will look for sure.
Okay, well, I'm wondering, do you think maybe now would be a good time to let's look at that 5 easy tips video? What should we look for?
I think the most important thing to look for in the clip is what should you bring to the table when you're filing a FAFSA or when you're coming to a Cash for College workshop. What are the most important items that you'll need to have in front of you in order to submit it?
Okay, well, 5 easy tips. Let's roll that clip with Arnie Duncan, the education poobah at the federal level. Let's roll that clip now.
A college degree has never been more important than it is today. And thanks to unprecedented new resources as a country, we now have over $100 billion in grants and loans available to make your dream of graduating from college a reality. To get access to that money, you have to fill out the FAFSA form. We've made it easier. You can do it online. That is the first step. So please fill the form out, go online, and pursue your dreams.
Thinking of college? Here are 5 easy tips to score student aid from the U.S. Department of Education using FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. It's easy, it's convenient. Tip number 1, start searching soon. Never too early to consider where you might want to go and what it takes to get there. Keep in mind that applying to different schools takes time. For free help, check out the College Navigator at nces.ed.gov/college navigator. A big part is figuring how to afford college. It's serious stuff. So when researching schools of interest, visit their financial aid office websites and ask what financial aid is available at each school. A lot of that is federal aid. Or just give them a call to inquire about federal aid, student grants, work study, loans and scholarships available locally. Check with the school. Your completed FAFSA application is so inclusive. It's often the only major financial information you need to supply. FAFSA, did we mention it's free? Tip number 2, pin down a PIN. The easy, direct way to file your FAFSA application is online. For that, and when you later need to update, you need a PIN to secure your information and allow access when you need it. This PIN is a personal ID number, just like any familiar online password, but this one's exclusively for your FAFSA access. For more information about FAFSA PINs, log on to www.studentaid.ed.gov. Tip number 3, dig up the docs. Once you're focused on a school, collect the documentation needed to apply. For example, on the financial side, that includes income tax returns and W-2 forms. There's a full list of documents at www.fafsa.ed.gov. Tax return not completed when you apply? Maybe you filed an extension? Just estimate the information, apply, and update FAFSA later. Tip number 4, fill out your FAFSA. Most FAFSA apps are submitted online. Questions about filling out your FAFSA? Call the Department of Education at 1-800-4-FED-AID. Make sure your app includes all schools you want to receive your FAFSA. Just locate the school's identifying numbers and add them to your app. Easy. Tip number 5, update your app. You'll receive a student aid report after submitting your FAFSA. It's your chance to review, update estimates, change anything else that needs changing for accuracy. Then reply pronto. Sooner you do, the faster your aid results will be known, and you and your family can get on with the next big thing, college. Good luck.
Getting financial aid for college starts with completing the FAFSA form. It's easy, it's fast, it's online. Please just get it done.
All right, well now that was valuable. 5 easy steps. Anybody remember what they were? Oh, yeah, start soon. I'm remembering the PIN number, but one of the things, Cynthia, I'd like to ask you, one of the things that's always such a worry and was always such a worry for me as a counselor is what happens to undocumented students?
Well, this year actually, this is maybe my 5th time doing the show, and every year we talked about scholarships. And this year I'm happy to be able to talk about the DREAM Act that passed in California. So there's 2 new assembly bills, AB 130 and AB 131, which actually grant financial aid for undocumented students. So we would always talk about AB 540, which grants in-state tuition, but AB 130 allows students to access private funds at public universities in California. And until January 2013, AB 131 will grant public funds like the Cal Grant, the BOG waiver, and any other state university grants, which is really exciting. So my biggest recommendation now to undocumented students is to contact the schools that you're applying to find out when their DREAM applications are out, or how do you apply for the DREAM Act at their school. Still, we want to keep looking for scholarships and applying to outside scholarships to help meet that need. And then sometimes filling out a paper FAFSA, that's sometimes a requirement from the universities. But we have tons of resources at the Cash for College workshop. You are eligible to attend and apply for the $1,000 scholarship, which is something I left out earlier. Every workshop offers a $1,000 scholarship to one student that attends. So for each workshop, one student will win a $1,000 scholarship.
Now, is there a number limit? I heard one of those workshops at my unnamed school was very small.
It was very small, and there is a 25 student minimum requirement by the state. So there must be 25 students present in order to be eligible for the scholarship. So when that doesn't happen, then sites are combined. But if not, for example, Skyline last night, we had maybe 70 students there, over 100 people. So one of those 70 students will win the $1,000 scholarship. They won't be put into another pool.
One of 70 will?
Yeah.
So, but you can't like borrow like 20 of those kids for McClymonds.
No, we cannot. But it'll be combined with another site that possibly didn't meet that 25 either.
So there is still a chance.
They'll still be entered into the drawing.
Okay. Well, I just wondered if there was still a chance, because a lot of times, I mean, that is kind of hard.
Yeah, they'll be combined with another site. It won't be just from that site. They don't lose out.
And Skyline won't get 2 or 3 then. That's too bad. But I mean, if you had like every 25 students.
It used to be that after 75 students we do 2, after 100 we do 3, but with our economic state, we can only offer 1. Well, and sometimes they'll say we have a little bit extra funding. Any high school with over 100 will give 2. So we don't find out until April. Okay, but that's pretty nice, and a lot of people just didn't realize that. So those that went to like that one at Fremont that night, one of those persons is going to get a $1,000 scholarship. Yep. Odds are great, and a lot of times people just don't go, or think, oh, I don't need to do that, or I'll do it later, or I've already done it. But every opportunity that comes up, you should take advantage of. So that's really important. So are you telling me then, but undocumented students don't fill out the FAFSA? We do not encourage that you fill out an online FAFSA. It won't allow you to continue without a social security number. Okay. And that's the reason why. But sometimes some universities will ask for a paper FAFSA for you to fill it out on paper and mail it to them, or fax it. And so in that case, we could help them fill out a paper FAFSA. Okay. So one of the most important things then, if you know what school you're going to, are you saying then you should be working directly with that particular financial aid office, because they want you. Yeah, maybe identifying 2 or 3 of your top choices and seeing what their requirements are. Okay. Now, and have you done that already, Freddie? Have you worked with any particular schools and their financial aid offices yet? Have you worked with the financial aid office of the schools you're interested in?
Yet I have not, because I still haven't heard notice from many of my schools that I have applied to. Okay. So I have yet not contacted them for financial aid. Okay. But you might want to talk with the financial aid office there too. At those, is that right? Even though because you don't have to have an acceptance letter yet, you just want to find out more information. Help me out with that. Yeah, and actually, Freddie just got an email from UC Berkeley, and his intention is to fill out some of their scholarships, and so we do, and we just were having a conversation, the 2-3 of them over there, that we are going to contact the schools to see what they're, because we know for Berkeley is an example that already has a DREAM application out there, and we know students that have already been awarded one this semester, because the private funds portion of the DREAM Act became effective as of January of this year. And so current freshmen or current students at UC Berkeley can already apply and have been awarded that scholarship. So yes, we will start contacting the schools. They're lucky that they have your support. Carlos is one of our strong counselors remaining in Oakland, and Oakland High is lucky to have you.
What kind of problems are you experiencing with the students at Oakland High right now?
I think right now is just getting the students to follow through on, well, first of all, as a counselor, I would say students need, not just with me, but with whomever they ask for a letter of recommendation, to really give everybody 2 to 3 weeks notice if they need a letter of recommendation. Because a lot of times students will wait till the last second, the last week, oh, I need this and I need this when you need it today. Oh, sorry, there's no way anybody's going to write a letter of recommendation today. But it's also, I would say for the students, is being aware of deadline dates. There are schools where there are organizations, it'll say postmarked. Other organizations want it in by X date. So it's really important to understand, which ones can be postmarked. Like a lot of people, not just, I know it's not just high school students. I know we as adults do it too. We procrastinate and wait till the last second to get something done. And then it puts undue pressure and stress, on the students. So you need to, I'm kind of old fashioned in the sense I say, get a wall calendar and write there in red, the deadline dates, and then a week before, highlight it, do whatever, just that visual, site to remind you of what's due and when it's due. Oakland Public School students have a lot of scholarships that come to them. I think just at Oakland High School, and I think I get pretty much the same as all the other schools, but I would say we probably get at least altogether about 70, if not 100 scholarship applications from different organizations. Just in the last 2 weeks, we've gotten the Kiwanis Club of Oakland. There are Marcus Foster Institute, and Leo's here, so I know he'll speak about that. Yeah. So there are a lot of good applications. So it's knowing what's due, when it's due, and to make sure you always give yourself 2 or 3 days leeway.
Now that you mentioned recommendations, I just have to mention something that as a quick diversion, because it is important. A lot of times students will spring that on you at the last minute. You really do want somebody to write a good recommendation for you. And one of the best things that you can do is when you're asking someone, write down the 3 or 4 things that you would like them to mention about you in their letter. And I have to tell you, when I was on site, and I would see letters that some teachers had written, and I couldn't even send them off on the student's behalf because they were not well written. And the student hadn't thought about it, and it was last minute, and that's what they got. And so if you plan ahead and you know the things that you think that person could and should best say about you, give that to them as a little tip. Make it as easy for them as you can for them to write you a good letter of recommendation. And I want to come back to the FAFSA because fortunately you don't have to have a recommendation letter with the FAFSA, but you do with your applications often. Cynthia, what are some of the most common mistakes that the students make on the FAFSA?
My favorite mistake is not knowing their first name.
What?
I'm just not that they don't know it, but sometimes they go by their middle name or their school records have something different, and it's when I think it was Oakland High, a student put his last name as his first name as his last name. So just students not reading the application. I know as adults we do it sometimes too. We're just rushing through, and so I always recommend that at least at the very beginning when it asks you for your name, your social, and your date of birth, that you really just take your time, because you can't make any edits on that. Anything else on the FAFSA you can make a correction, but name and social has to match or else you have to do it all over again. Another mistake, which is I think the number 2 mistakes are the name, and then the second is the question about income tax. And that's a question you could really only get on your tax form. It's a hard one to estimate, and very often families will report their income, their total income in that box, and that's incorrect because then it shows that you made no income for the year. So that's a very common one, and sometimes I won't catch it until someone submitted and I see that no EFC was calculated, and I'll let them know, did you report this big amount on this question? And they'll say yeah. So it's a very common mistake as well.
Okay, so does that mean they should have somebody check it, or does the program come back and tell you that it's missing?
And another mistake that is also that students sometimes put answer the questions about their parent in the parent section and then again in the student section. So now it's saying you made double the income, and it's very big on the left-hand side, parent, when it's asking about the parent, and then student when it's asking about the student. And so sometimes it's just a matter of someone pointing that out, and then they're like, oh, okay. So yeah, just have someone look it over, even if it's your parent or just if you're at a workshop, a volunteer, before you hit submit. A lot of you can make corrections on the FAFSA, but we want to try to eliminate that, because a lot of times those mistakes aren't caught until some deadlines have passed and financial aid has been exhausted, and then you miss out on grants.
Okay, well now I know that beyond that, some kids right now aren't even thinking, well, they're not even going to go to college, they're not even going to fill it out. And we know March 2nd is the big deadline. So what if after March 2nd somebody says, oh gee, I really want to go, or maybe I'm going to go to one of the Peralta colleges, maybe go to Laney, Alameda College, Merritt, Berkeley, and so what do?
I usually don't tell students that you could do a FAFSA after March 2nd until March 2nd is passed, because we really want to meet the Cal Grant deadline, and that's whether you're going to community college or a 4-year. But if you miss that March 2nd deadline, then that means that we've missed Cal Grant for this school year, but we could apply again next year.
Okay.
But for financial aid, to get the BOG waiver, to get the Pell Grant, to get any aid, you could do it after March 2nd at any point, even a day before the semester ends once you're in college.
But that would apply for the following year then?
No, you can still apply for the current school year at
if there's any money left.
If there's money left.
Okay. That March 2nd, better to do it now. You know, the other thing is that I'm not sure that we did mention in the video, but the GPA verification form, and I always worry about that getting to the state. And Carlos, what is the district doing now as far as the GPA verification forms?
Well, all I can tell you is what we do at Oakland High School. We made copies of the forms. We went to all the senior English classes and handed them out to the students and asked them to fill it out. If the student was 18 years of age, they could sign it themselves and give it to us. But if they were under 18, the parent has to sign it. On that form, it basically asks you your name, your social security number, and then we will send the students' grade point average for the 10th and 11th grade to up to Sacramento. With the GPA verification, that'll take care of probably, I would say, 90% or 95% of our seniors. There are some students or parents who don't want to give us that information, so there's a separate version of the GPA verification form where then the student, he or her and their parents they submit that on their own, but it's a little bit more detailed where they got to fill it out, then we sign it verifying that this is your GPA, and then you take it and send it out on your own.
So the district's not automatically sending them?
That I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
No.
We tried for that, but I guess that just didn't quite work. So those things are important. So you have to know that you have to get that in too, or you don't have Cal Grant.
But that's where, just to get back to what Cynthia brought earlier about names, that's another area where students make mistakes is on the Cal Grant. And on the FAFSA and on the Cal Grant, the name that you print has to be exactly as it is on your Social Security card. Otherwise, you're going to have problems.
Wow. Okay. Well, those things, the GPA verification form is very important. And going back just quickly even to the PIN number, and I was hoping that we would get some calls, and maybe we will, maybe we won't tonight. People are getting a lot of good information tonight, but I remember there was something in the video about PIN number, and then a student I was talking to about said they had a problem because they didn't remember them. Should the parent and the student have different ones, or is it possible for them to have the same PIN numbers? Cynthia, tell us about PIN numbers.
So the PIN, this is one of the aspects of the FAFSA that has changed. That's a lot easier than when I was in high school a long time ago. So we used to have to wait for it on paper. We would sign it. I did my FAFSA on paper actually, but then as I was in college, we were able to request a PIN electronically, and you'd have to wait 6 to 8 weeks to get a PIN. You can get your PIN instantly now. While you're on the FAFSA, you just hit apply for a PIN, and you could create your own PIN, whereas before FAFSA would assign you a number. So now you could create your own 4-digit PIN, and I have seen that parents and students will say, let's just put the same PIN number so that it's easier for us to remember. So that's definitely possible. One parent has to have their own PIN, and then the student has to have their own. But it could be the same 4-digit number. It could be the same as
different people.
Yes.
Okay. Because I just thought we ought to come back to that, and then if we're lucky, we'll be able to get into talking about student loans. But right now, I'd like to find out more about some of the scholarships. Quincy, One of the best scholarships that started to come around was just about the time I was retiring, and we've been part of the East Bay College Fund, and Andy Fremder has been on the show many times. Tell us about the East Bay College Fund and now your role in it.
Yeah, so the East Bay College Fund is a $16,000 scholarship specifically for Oakland Public High School students. So that's the students always like to hear about how much the scholarship is. That's the first thing that they want to hear. So $16,000 is definitely big, but the program is much larger than that. Along with the money, you also receive a mentor from the program. That the mentor, we usually try to pair you up with someone that has a similar background to you, or someone that might possibly be in a career field that you may be interested in. That's just someone for you to talk to throughout your time while you're in college, just to give you someone to kind of fall back on. And also, as a part of the program, you get counseling from different people inside of the program. We work with students on picking their classes, work with them on money management and things like that. Just to, again, to try to make it a more of a support system than just a scholarship. So it's definitely a great opportunity for students. To apply for the scholarship, you have to have between a 3.0 and a 3.7 GPA. We can, on a case-by-case basis, work with students who may be a tad bit below that 3.0 scale, but the typical range is from a 3.0 to a 3.7. And again, it is just specifically for Oakland Public High School students. The deadline for it is coming up very fast. It's February 10th. So if you are interested in this scholarship, which I hope you are, because it's a fantastic opportunity, you definitely want to make sure that you get on it, because you do have to get 2 letters of recommendation. And as Carlos said earlier, you do want to try to talk to counselors and teachers to try to give them enough time to get that letter of recommendation for you. So you want to make sure you get on that as soon as possible. To find out just some more information about it, you can either just Google East Bay College Fund, or you can go directly to the website, which is eastbaycollegefund.org. And my specific role for the program is I am a full-time college advisor at Oakland High. Wow. So I'm just working full-time at Oakland High. I'm there every day working with students, talking to them, not just about scholarships, but about helping students apply to college. I worked with Cynthia for the Casual College event that we had at Oakland High. So helping students apply for college, apply for scholarships, working with students that may be working on the East Bay College Fund application. And any questions that students may have, if students want to come and vent, to talk about college things, whatever the situation may be, I'm just there to kind of work with them and help out alongside the counselors there.
Well, I think it's wonderful that they've been able to provide that. And again, for others of you that may be watching over the time, this fund is something that started by a group of young people who were doing well with families and wanted to do something, and they came together, pooled their resources, and have now not only providing all of these scholarships, now providing a young person, Quincy, to be working full-time at Oakland High. This is pretty remarkable, and we thank the Fremders so much, and the family of friends there. Leo, tell us about the Marcus Foster Association by Marcus A. Foster. Yes.
Oh, sure. Well, this year we have scholarships from $1,000 to $12,000. The $12,000 scholarship will also come with a mentor. It's for first-generation youth. We give our scholarships to Oakland High School seniors, public or charter, and to apply you just have to have a 2.5 GPA or better, no social security number required, and attended Oakland School for at least 2 years. And our deadline is March 30th. For most of our scholarships, you'll need 1 letter of recommendation. So, tomorrow will be a good time to start on the letter of recommendation. And our application is totally online at www.marcusfoster.org. And for most students, we're also asking you to fill out the FAFSA before you fill out our application this year, because we noticed that we do understand that some of our scholarships are, an addition to FAFSA, to the aid you'll get from filling out the FAFSA. So, we just want to sweeten the deal for you there.
Wow, that's wonderful. And Carlos and I have served on that committee for several years, and I have since Officer Dodds here was a senior in high school. That was my first year serving on that committee, and I still am. So this is wonderful. All right, Regina, let's hear what you are doing with EOYDC. My goodness, it's amazing.
Well, thank you very much. The Pathway to College program, which you've heard from a couple of our young people, is a very exciting opportunity for us to encourage them to go to college. And we are very fortunate to actually have connected with the Marcus Foster Institute and East Bay Consortium to create another collaboration really focused on helping our young people get their FASFAs finished. And we are focusing on the lowest number of FASFA completions, which are at Castlemont, Fremont, and McClymonds. So we are looking for the lowest number of kids, and we want to just bring it through the roof. And that's not an effort that we're doing alone. It's a team effort, and we have some extraordinary partners within this consortium. Other than that, our track and field programs, our GED students, we're getting them to file FASFAs so that they can go on to college as well. So it's all about education. It's all about youth empowerment and leadership, and that's where we are centrally committed every single day.
Well, one of the things I've felt about your program, and I attend all your events that I can, and is that, again, you do a lot of mentoring and following up with these kids. It's not something where you just get their scholarship and they're gone. That was a big thing in Marcus Foster and with the consortium. It's really important that we follow our students. So tell me about maybe some of your success stories with some of your kids.
Oh, certainly. We have a youth-led college mentoring initiative called Brotherhood, Sisterhood Across America. So that's where our college students are staying connected with our high school and our middle school students. We've got kids going into PhD programs in law school and master's programs, so they're not just finishing college, which is extraordinary in and of itself, but they're continuing to go on. They're also going into social service careers, which we're very, very proud of.
All right. Well, thank you for the difference that you're making in our community. Lisette, I'd love for you to tell us about the East Bay Consortium and the directory and what you're doing with scholarships.
Okay, sure. So the East Bay Consortium scholarship is actually funded by College Access Foundation, and we've been offering the scholarship for the past 6 years. And the scholarship varies. It varies from $500 to $5,000. And each award is customized depending on the financial aid of every student. And we normally offer between 35 to 45 scholarships a year. And it is a renewal scholarship, so once you receive it once, you can apply for 4 years until you graduate from university. And we do welcome students who are going to four-year university as well as community college and AB 540 students. And we do require that you participate in 3 events with the East Bay Consortium and you have a GPA of 2.5. And we offer a lot of support during college years as well.
And you're doing a lot of support. Yes, you said a lot of college support. And what about yourself? Were you one of those students at one time?
I received money from the College Access Foundation, not necessarily through Oakland, but this scholarship specifically for OUSD students. So.
Wonderful. Okay, well, time has gotten away from us. It's almost gone. Any quick last word? And then we're going to go out with a wrap. All right. All right. There's going to be a FAFSA wrap. Did they play it? All right. Any last word? Carlos.
With regards to the letters, I want to encourage the students to, it's not just asking your counselor or teacher for a letter or even somebody someone an employer, but have a resume ready to give them and tell them information that, for example, I know what the student can do in the classroom. I see their transcripts, their GPA, but I don't know how many people in their family, if they're the first to go to college. I may not know that. Little things like that, your interests, your hobbies, your extracurricular activities, put all that stuff from 9th grade on up. It's very important so that the individual who's writing the letter for you just has a little bit more information to make you a fuller person. Thank you.
Okay, Regina?
February 11th again, we're having a community FASFA festival at the East Oakland Youth Development Center, 8200 International Boulevard. If you've been to the East Bay Consortium presentations at schools but weren't able to finish, or if you didn't have your information ready at the time, you can finish with us. We are there for you. We'll have a lot of volunteers to help you get it and get it right. February 11th. Come down and see us.
And this program will be run, so we hope people will watch often, as it will be rerun 2 or 3 times a week. On behalf of all of our wonderful creative students and parents and family that supports Oakland Kids, this is Marilyn Harriman for CCC Live. Bye for now. FAFSA, file online. March 2nd is your deadline. All right.